Aging. It happens to us all, at least until the stem cell injections I'm getting in my spine kick in. Until then, the likes of you and I can only look at these youthful appearing game characters and ask, how old? What's the secret of their prolonged skin elasticity and 20-something muscle tone? Is it dark magic? How do I get some? Consider the following surprisingly old heroes who ought to share their skincare secrets, and along the way beware spoilers for the following.
You might assume monster hunting is a young person's game. After all, there's lots of camping out under the stars, swinging great iron swords around, and slowly eroding your pelvis with miles upon miles of horse riding. Wait, do I mean pelvis? Where's the pelvis? Geralt from the Witcher series, however, despite his fresh appearance and spry demeanour, is no spring chicken. As this in-game chinwag with his mentor Vesemir reveals.
Do well not to point up my age. You're near a century old yourself.
Nearly a century? Yes, due to the alchemical processes that create them, witches in fact live an unnaturally long time. That's not to say there aren't other factors keeping Geralt youthful though. I mean, those freaky cat eyes are positively sparkling with youth. Also, witches have little capacity for emotion, so maybe the secret to long life is to be dead inside. A long, long dead life.
Yay!
Beautiful blue and infused with object-chucking biotic powers, Samara is the Asari Justicar that doles out righteous blue justice on her interstellar travels and looks fabulous while doing so.
If we both still live when this is done, you may call upon me for aid at any time.
Samara is basically the cool alien that all other aliens wish they could be. I hope you're watching, E.T. Disgraceful. To look at Samara, you might not assume she's getting on to be 1,000 years old. As an Asari, of course, she has a naturally long lifespan and top-notch cell regeneration. But how you last 10 centuries without accidentally sticking a fork in a toaster at some point is beyond us.
Soon the time will be right, and we will bring the fight to them. I will be by your side to the end, Shepard.
Perhaps Samara's secret is that she lives by a strict code of honour that forswears all worldly possessions apart from weapons and armour, which poses possibly Mass Effect's most troubling moral quandary. Would you live for 1,000 years if it meant giving up everything you own? Even this plush Pikachu. Incidentally, Asari aren't the only long-lasting race in Mass Effect. The Krogan also live for well over 1,000 years, though whatever the Asari's skincare secrets are, they're clearly not sharing them with the Krogan. Ugh.
Let us be clear, we never want to punch anyone, and we certainly would feel very bad about trying to deal physical harm to a 52-year-old. Lucky for us then that we've got as much chance of beating up Ryu from Street Fighter as we do of performing a Hadouken IRL. Hadouken! Hadouken! I believe it can be done. Yes, the street's toughest brawler is also the world's toughest quinquagenarian, as Street Fighter 2 handily furnishes us with Ryu's birth year as 1964. When that game came out, that would have put Ryu in his late 20s. And oh my god, has he aged well since. These days, Ryu's only concession to his advanced years is occasionally sporting a grizzly beard, and to somehow have made his pecs even more massive. Not the physical traits you expect from a man who spent his entire adult life being kicked in the breadbasket. Ryu isn't the only brawler who really should consider hanging up the gloves. Baby boomer Dulcim was born in 1952 and he's still breathing that fire. Back then it was probably considered acceptable to wear children's skulls as a necklace. It was a different time.
Now, it's rude to comment on a person's age, but excuse our jaws hitting the floor when we find out that virus-incubating psychopath Elizabeth Greene, one of several mutating baddies in 2009's prototype, is over 60 years old.
Time for waiting is over.
Come on, Liz, what's your secret? Is it fruit smoothies? Daily exfoliation? Incubation of a humanity-destroying pathogen? Kale? Yeah, alright, it's the pathogen. Liz's smooth skin and girlish vigour comes at a high price. Infected with the blacklight virus in her youth, Liz has spent her life in containment, being poked and prodded. No wonder she's a bit unhinged. Liz also takes detoxing to bold new extremes, here creating a mutant flesh monster from her own body before scampering away backwards like a spider. Which I guess is a yoga move? Keeps you limber. Hey, Liz.
Freud once said, "I cannot think of any need in childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection." If that's true, then JD Fenix, the young protagonist of Gears of War 4, is a lucky boy. His dad Marcus is all about protection. He protected humanity on Earth-like planet Sarah from the Locust and Lambent threat, and he protected his sweet bandana through any number of military campaigns and chainsaw-y Lancer close encounters. And now in Gears of War 4, with the turning of the years, the time has come for the son to protect the aging father. If by protect you mean driving the motorbike while your 60-plus dad takes gun duty on the back. Retirement doesn't really suit Marcus, who's frankly wasted around the house when he could be running and gunning, obscuring huge swathes of the screen with his gargantuan shoulders, and generally making the gross monster horde wish they'd stayed at home.
Damn it, more of them!
Basically, if JD ever says to you, "My dad could beat up your dad," believe him.
Being self-employed can be a wearing old business, but apparently not so for Frank West. Frank's a freelance photojournalist who, alongside his daring reportage, makes time to squash zombies with an array of outlandish weapons. In the upcoming Dead Rising 4, Frank returns, now aged 52, and like all men of a certain age, he's started to disregard fireworks safety. Still, Frank's out there, proving that you're only as old as the zombie you feel exploding under the weight of your electric death axe. But Frank looks better now at 52 than he did in the original Dead Rising, when he was 36. Getting soaked in zombie blood keeps you young, I guess. That's why I drank a pint of it just before we started filming. Okay, it's possible that this exosuit might be taking some of the legwork out of Frank's advanced years rampages, but Frank doesn't just look young, he's down with the kids. In this Dead Rising 4 trailer, he's tweeting clips and even posing for selfies with the undead. You're gonna take home the Pulitzer for this one, Frank.
Got to stop happening.
How good do you look first thing in the morning? How good do you think you'd look if you'd been asleep for 500 years? In a coffin? At the bottom of a lake? Probably not as good as Bayonetta. Hashtag I woke up like this. Angel-stomping Wonder Witch Bayonetta purportedly dates back to the 1400s, which means she shares a birth century with the modern English language, the harpsichord, and Scotch whisky. And like a fine bottle of the stuff, Bayonetta has certainly aged well. Better than the harpsichord anyway. Worst keyboard instrument ever, am I right? Guys? By rights, Bayonetta should be nothing but a spooky skeleton with cool glasses, and yet something about her lifestyle of crushing angels, looking sassy and being magic has kept her fresh as a daisy. Maybe it's all the stretches. No, must be the magic.
Typically we mellow with age, but not so for angry spiky mammal Shadow from the Sonic series, a moody antagonist who puts the edgy in Hedgehog.
Revenge!
Shadow has reason to be glum. After all, he was created in a lab by Dr. Robotnik's grandfather, then put in stasis before he could fulfill his lifelong ambition of doing cool flips and running really fast.
Wow, he's fast!
As a result, Shadow is over 50 years old. The life expectancy of a hedgehog is about 2 to 5 years, so Shadow is doing pretty well, but then he is the result of an experiment to create the ultimate life form, which obviously is a hedgehog in rad trainers.